everyone. So today we'll be dealing with the topic nutritional requirements of fishes. So you all may be familiar with the term nutrition. Nutrition is actually the process of taking in food and converting it into energy. So that is basically nutrition. So here we'll be seeing what are the nutritional requirements of fishes. So just like humans are required nutrition for doing their activities or the biochemical activities, just like that fishes also require some amount of energy for carrying out all their biochemical activities as well as metabolic processes. So we'll see the nutritional requirements. So here in this picture, you can see the different life stages of a fish. So starting from the stage which is the egg, it then turns into a stage called embryo and then turns into larvae and then juvenile fishes and the adult fishes. So here you can see when it turns into an embryo or when it turns into a stage called larvae, it has a sac in that. That is, it carries a sac which is called the yolk sac, which contains the nutrition for their survival. So only after that, only once the intake of the yolk sac is complete, it turns into next stage which is called the juvenile stage or the larval stage. And in that stage, that they are taking some external food or external food material. So the transition from the stage of taking a particular feed, that is the transition from the stage of utilizing the yolk sac to juvenile stage. That process is known as weaning or the process of taking external feed. So here it is written that the nutritional requirements of different species varies according to different conditions. That is, the nutritional requirements of fishes varies according to different conditions. Maybe with the life stages, environmental conditions, and with the species. That is, different species require different amounts of nutrition or different amounts of nutrition for different species. So there are about 40 essential nutrients that is required by fish, prawns, and other terrestrial animals. So here we will be dealing about the some of the nutrients. That is, you all may be familiar that we can classify the nutrients into two types. That is the macronutrients and micronutrients. So, as the name indicates or the term indicates, macronutrients is something big or something we need in large quantities. That is known as macronutrients. And nutrients which are needed only in small quantities or less quantity is known as the micronutrient. So, you may know that the micronutrients or the substances which are coming under the category of macronutrients are usually proteins and carbohydrates, and micronutrients includes vitamins and minerals. So we will be dealing with the micronutrients as well as macronutrients. So the first and foremost and most important nutrient which is required by all the living organism is the protein. So just it is required by the human beings or any other organisms, it is also required in larger amounts by the fishes too. So protein is an important organic material which is required for the fishes and all other organisms. So we all know the function of protein. You might have noticed during your childhood, your parents or your mother used to feed large amount of protein. That is because it is during the larval stages or during the childhood stages or the growing stages we require larger amount of protein. That is what I have mentioned in the beginning, that the requirement or the need of different nutrients varies according to different stages. It is during the larval stages or during the growing stages or the younger stages, many of the organisms require more amount of protein than they require in the adult stage. So, just as that, fishes also require more amount of protein during their larval stages or their juvenile stages. So, the function of protein, we are familiarized with we may know about the function of protein. Protein is actually required for the growth and development of an organism, that is mainly the replacement of the worn out tissues or the development of tissues and also the synthesis of new tissues. So it is actually a structural compound and also a energy source. You may be knowing that the basic component of a protein is what? It is amino acid. So amino acids are the basic components of protein. So many building blocks of amino acids comprises or it constitute together to form a protein. So these amino acids or the single units of amino acids are linked together using a or by a peptide bond, and then it forms a protein. The amino acids which is linked by a peptide bond turns into a protein. So that is the entire mass of that amino acid block is known as protein. So we have already discussed about the functions of protein, which is required for the synthesis of new tissues, which is required for the growth, which is required for the development, as well as the replacement of worn out tissues. So, as I've mentioned about the amino acids can be classified into two categories, which is essential and non-essential. So, what is the difference between the essential and non-essential amino acids? Amino acids which can be synthesized by our body, it is known as non-essential amino acids. So there are certain substances which is required by our body, which can be synthesized by our body. So that the amino acids which can be synthesized by our body is known as non-essential amino acid. But there are certain amino acids which cannot be synthesized by our body. But then how it is obtained by our body? It is obtained through the food we are intaking or the substances we are intaking. So the amino acids which we are obtaining from the food we are intaking is known as essential amino acid, and that cannot be produced by our body. So here I have listed the list of the categorize the essential and non-essential amino acid. And another classification is here conditionally essential. Conditionally essential amino acids are amino acids which are required only in particular situations. So that is known as conditionally essential amino acids. Here is a list of essential as well as non-essential amino acids, and the essential amino acids include histidine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, isoleucine, leucine, and valine. So you can use some chords to easily remember these amino acids. Okay, and the non-essential amino acids are alanine, asparagine, aspartic acid, and glutamic acid. So these are the two classes of essential as well as non-essential amino acids. The next important component or the next important nutrient requirement or the nutrition substance is the lipids. So you maybe knowing that lipid contains fat. Okay, so fat, it is an important source of energy and also essential fatty acids and phospholipids. It is a source of phospholipids and as well as essential fatty acids. So essential fatty acids is actually an important component which is required. It's a nutritional component which is required by the fishes in larger quantities. That is, the type of fatty acids varies according to marine fishes. The requirement of the type of fatty acids varies according to marine fishes, within the marine fishes as well as brackish water fishes and freshwater fishes. So we'll be seeing that in detail. So it also serves as a precursor for hormones and also plays a vital role in the maintaining the cell structure of the fishes. So there are several classes of fatty acids. So here we have to remember the omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. You might have noticed that in several, like when you take a medicine or pharmaceutical, there are certain tablets like the fish tablets, fish oils and all. So in that it will be written that it contains omega-3 acids or omega-6 acid, or elder people used to say that you should eat more fishes so that you'll get fatty acids. That is actually required by your body. So fish is actually a major source of fatty acids. So fishes require, one of the important requirement is also lipids, that is fatty acids. So fishes typically in their nutrition they require omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. So marine fishes usually requires omega-3 fatty acids for their growth and health, and then freshwater fishes requires linolenic acid as well as linoleic acid. So lipids is actually an important component in the fish nutrition. So the next one is carbohydrates. You can see a picture of a carbohydrate component in the slide. So can you name some of the carbohydrate components you are incorporating in your diet? Yes, it's rice, wheat, and then tapioca. So all these are the sources of carbohydrates that we are taking in our food. So just like that, in fish nutrition also we have to incorporate carbohydrates. So that is also providing some amount of energy to the fishes, but then it should not be excessive. So what is actually the function of carbohydrate? It is actually providing a nutrition to the fish, as well as when we are preparing some fish feed, that is feed for fishes, it also acts as a binder. That is, it helps to bind the particles together. That is, we are incorporating lot of materials like proteins, vitamins, minerals, and then antibiotics. Everything we are incorporating in the nutritional or the diet of fishes. So For binding all these things together, we are using some carbohydrate source, that is maybe tapioca flour or rice flour, so that it helps to adhere the particles together. It is also a cheap source of protein. And also, uh, prepared feeds for carnivorous fishes usually contain less than 20% of the carbohydrates in their feed. And also, we should be careful that the amount of carbohydrate we are incorporating in the fish diet should not be excessive. That is, it can lead to several other problems. That is, there are health issues. So, only a particular amount. It varies according to the species, but then it should be in a small amount only. So, it is required in a small quantity only in the fish diet. So, the next important component is the vitamin. So, here you can see the classification of vitamin in two categories, that is fat soluble and water soluble. Vitamin is actually a micronutrient, that is, it required only in a small quantity. Vitamins and minerals are macronutrients. So, vitamins can be categorized into two based on their solubility, that is, fat soluble and water soluble. So, I have listed the names of some of the fat soluble vitamins as well as water soluble vitamins. So, what are the function of vitamins? So, it is an organic compound which is required for the support specific structural or metabolic functions. It is required for the functioning of several metabolic activities, but then it is required only in a small amount. So, have you heard about the term hypervitaminosis? Hypervitaminosis is actually a condition when there is an excessive amount of vitamin in your diet. So, you should be careful that only a fixed amount or a particular amount or a limited amount of vitamin is required for all the organisms. Even hypervitaminosis is not just a condition which is confined to fishes. It can also occur in any other living organism. That is, if the amount of vitamin exceeds than it is required by the body, a condition called hypervitaminosis occurs. So, vitamin is an important component in fish diet, but then it should be in a small amount. So, it is a micronutrient. So, the last nutritional component is the minerals. So, I have listed or I have included a chart, that is the requirement of minerals for different functionings. You can see the picture of finfish as well as shellfishes. So, for the shellfishes such as prawns, it is the minerals such as calcium, zinc, magnesium, and copper is required for the exoskeleton health. It is required for the development and proper growth of the exoskeleton for the finfishes. And then the minerals are also required for disease resistance. It helps in disease resistance, such as the minerals zinc, magnesium, copper, iron, and selenium. It is required. It helps in the disease resistance, and several other minerals which is required only in small amount, and also helps in the bone development in finfishes. It helps the whole body proximate composition and the nervous system development, secretion of digestive enzymes, and immunity development. So all these minerals together constitute the it together helps in the development and several other functioning of the finfishes as well as shellfishes. So you should always remember that these two nutritional components, that is the vitamins and minerals, should not exceed the limit, or it should be in a less quantity. That is, you should always remember that they are micronutrients, that is that they are needed only in a small quantity. But in protein or carbohydrate, these two components are macronutrients, that is they are required in a larger amount. So you should always remember that the nutritional requirements of, or the nutritional component, the requirement of each component varies with the different species of fishes. So so that's all about the nutritional requirement of finfishes. Let me just summarize. We have already discussed about the nutritional requirements of finfishes and shellfishes. That is, the major nutritional components is protein, carbohydrate, vitamins, minerals, and fats. And in that, protein, which is the basic unit, is amino acid, which is also required by the fishes in larger quantities for their different functions. Protein, which has a major function in development, growth, and also repair of the bone tissues. And then lipids, which is omega 3 and omega 6 is very essential. And then carbohydrates, which is a cheaper source of energy and helps in providing energy. and also it acts as a binders in fish nutrition. And then the vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals are actually micronutrients which helps in different functionings. So that's all. Thank you.